fast, quick. Amy Coney Barrett, she got sworn in as the new Supreme Court Associate Justice. Barrett's nomination was confirmed by the Senate, and the White House held a constitutional swearing-in ceremony last night. The court now holds a 6-3 conservative majority. Barrett is obviously taking over for Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the liberal Supreme Court icon who recently passed away. Now, the Supreme Court is poised to make key decisions soon about Trump's taxes, several elections cases, and cases regarding abortion law, and she is going to be right in it. She is not going to be recusing herself out of any conflict of interest. We don't know what private conversations she had with Donald Trump, who nominated her, who gave her the job, and now she is going to be decided on things that affect Donald Trump, his taxes, and the election.
We saw that this could be a huge possibility, and here it goes. Here it goes.
And by the way, if you go back to those pictures, this is a reenactment of the super spreading event that happened when they nominated Amy Coney Barrett. Nobody last night was wearing a mask. No masks anywhere. And if you remember, it was at that super spreader event several weeks ago when Amy Coney Barrett was nominated, and they had the event to nominate her, that the entire White House got sick. As a matter of fact, from that one event, as it was well put by Governor Andrew Cuomo, the White House has a higher percentage of coronavirus victims than the entire state of New York at this moment.
This is who's leading our nation, of course. This is leading by example.
Talking about super spreader events, Saturday evening, Marc Short, he's the vice president, Mike Pence, vice president's chief of staff, coronavirus. Later that evening, Pence's office confirmed that Marty Obst, a senior political advisor, coronavirus. In total, at least 5 close associates of the vice president who he comes into contact with, presumably not wearing a mask, has coronavirus. Now, both Pence and Karen, the wife, so far they've tested negative, but you don't know, you could be a carrier of coronavirus for up to 14 days before you show symptoms. But what they generally say is the average person is about 6 to 7 days before symptoms show. So if, for example, Pence came into contact with Marc Short, who tested positive on Saturday morning or even Friday, he won't test positive at least until Thursday.
I understand that everyone might have their take on COVID-19, but I would really hope that it doesn't lead to any, unfortunate events for the White House to be taking more precaution with COVID, because it's just not okay. There's people out there that really don't believe that, that it's a thing or that they're invincible, but I just feel like it's so irresponsible to not be taking more precaution, especially in the position that they're all in.
I agree with you, and you can make an argument, I like Pence, I don't like Pence, I like Trump, I don't like Trump. But in the end, and there's people, like I know Yo-Yo always likes to say, well, he's
COVID doesn't have a president.
Well, not only that, but Yo-Yo likes to say, well, he's not my president, But the fact is, whether you like to say that or not, he is in fact your president and vice president until the people of America, hopefully next week, vote them out. And, the last thing you want to do is see your leadership, in a hospital. It's not good for America, whether you like the guy or not. Now, Pence, he says he's going to be suspending his movements despite having been in close contact with the aides. But he says because he's an essential government worker, he doesn't have to quarantine, so maybe he won't. We'll see. But he is not going to. We don't know what's going to happen. I don't understand why, because he's a vice president, he gets a pass and he can go travel around the world. Why is that?
Right.
We have Yo-Yo back?
Privilege. Yep.
Let's see. Do you guys have me? Can you hear me?
Barely.
Yep.
Barely.
We can hear you.
Barely, but we hear you. Now, Senator Kamala Harris condemned the White House for its handling of the pandemic upon hearing of the recent positive tests in Mike Pence's orbit, saying that Trump and Pence had forfeited their right for a second term. And I got to say something. She's not far off. She is not far off. Time magazine, because we do have an election coming up, Time magazine removed its large Time logo from the cover for the first time ever since its premiere on March 3rd, 1923, to make a point. In advance of the November 3rd election, the publication replaced the logo with the word vote on its November 2nd issue. A woman wearing a bandana as a mask, partially covering the surprise design. Editor-in-chief Edward Felsenthal wrote in an article posted on Thursday, to mark this historic moment, arguably as consequential a decision as any of us have ever made at the ballot box, we have, for the first time in our nearly 100-year history, replaced our logo on the cover of our U.S. edition with the imperative for all of us to exercise the right to vote. NASA astronaut Kate Rubins cast her vote from 200 miles above Earth. You want to know how she did that? Is anyone interested? Yo-Yo's a little bit interested. Astronauts registered to vote in Texas got the right to vote from space in 1997 when lawmakers ruled they could electronically cast their ballot off the planet if they'd been on a space flight during the early voting period or election day. So NASA's Johnson Space Center, it's located in Houston, so most astronauts are based in the city of Houston and registered to vote in Harris County, which is obviously Houston. Now, the space voting process works like this. The Harris County Clerk's Office uploads a secure electronic ballot to NASA's Johnson Space Center Mission Control Center. NASA astronauts using specific credentials access their ballot and cast their vote, which is delivered back to the county clerk's office by email. Rubins, along with 2 Russian cosmonauts, began their mission early this month. How do we know that it wasn't the Russian cosmonaut who voted?
Right.
By the way, I have to tell you something. I find this really disturbing, okay, that it's basically a publicity stunt that they spent all this money to get her to vote from space, and God knows how much taxpayer dollars it cost for this woman to vote from space when she could have easily had a very secure mail-in ballot done before she left Earth. Right?
When did she leave Earth, though?
Valid question, Yo-Yo. When did she leave Earth? I don't know, but I do know that she's 200 miles above Earth at the moment. Maybe she's been circling Earth for 200 years or something already. You ever see that movie with Matthew McConaughey? He's like, he gets shoots off and, he comes back 10 minutes later, but everybody's 400 years older.
Everybody's right.
Yeah. I don't know.
It could be.
Could be. I don't know.
It's 2020. There's so many possibilities.
There's a lot of possibilities. I'm going to tell you something. You know what Jill said to me? She goes to me, Brad, if Joe Biden is the winner of the presidential election, what are we going to talk about on Schmooze? We're going to have Happy News Wednesday and nothing to talk about Thursday Schmooze. And Friday, let's roast the marshmallow Schmooze. It's going to be so calm, we're all going to be sleeping.
I don't think so, but remember what I said. Remember what I said yesterday, because Trump is leaving the White House, hopefully leaving the White House on fire with so much that Joe Biden has to fix up. Remember we had said, Barack Obama said, it's almost like driving a big rig. Like, when you turn, you can't just make a fast U-turn. It's like a long turn. He's going to have a lot to work with. So we're still going to have a lot to talk about. And it's basically going to be about how he's fixing everything that Trump messed up.
You see, I disagree. I think our entire schmooze is going to be me, you, and Nesquik roasting marshmallows by a fire, listening to elevator music. We are going to have absolutely nothing to talk about. It's going to be very calm and quiet.
There goes our show.
What?
Trump is still going to be dramatic.
Yeah.
Trump is still let's say, Biden wins, he's going to be a big crybaby and just compare all this stuff. We'll still hear from the pumpkin.
And hopefully we'll be talking about him going to jail.
You know what? That's what Jill just whispered in my ear.
What?
Are you and Jill talking to each other? Jill goes, right. I hope we're talking about him going to prison.
Are you serious?
She just whispered that in my ear as a joke.
Well, that's what's going to happen.
Meanwhile,
if Jillian and I say it at the same time, then that's what's going to happen.
All right, we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, according to statistics from the Johns Hopkins University, there are now 43 million coronavirus cases worldwide. In the United States, over 8.7 million people have been diagnosed with COVID. America has more than 226,000 deaths. The U.S. has seen almost 500,000 new coronavirus cases in 1 week, as the dreaded fall surge continues to grow. Some places could be close to what former FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb called exponential spread. The American Academy of Pediatrics says that there has been a 14% increase in child COVID cases over the last 2 weeks, presumably because school is open. By the way, we have a new segment now on Tuesday. It is called, I don't know if you guys know about this, it's called Tea Time with Uncle Brad. We have some tea coming in. Yes, tea time. Thank you very much, Jeremy. Tea time. Thank you. What kind of tea do we have, Jeremy, today?
We have
Chamomile tea. All right. I don't know. You know who this actor Ryan Phillippe is? He went on an outdoor run on Saturday, and he delivered shade while he was at it. Phillippe paused to take a post-workout selfie in front of a billboard promoting the Ellen DeGeneres Show and wrote on the Instagram caption, "And remember to be kind, wait." Now, Phillippe has not appeared on the talk show since 2011. His ex-wife, Reese Witherspoon, that's his claim to fame. I think he was in a movie once, too, Ryan Phillippe, a couple of movies. But his claim to fame is ex-wife, Reese Witherspoon, with whom he shares daughter Ava, 21, and son Deacon, 17, has been friends with DeGeneres, 62, for years. Now, rumors about DeGeneres being mean off the air have circulated in Hollywood for years. Warner Media subsequently launched an internal investigation based on these meanie rumors. U.S. Weekly exclusively reported in August that producers assured staff in a video call that Ellen is not going to give up on her show. DeGeneres led a second call later that month in which she admitted to being a multi-layered and said she had good days and bad days. And when the Ellen DeGeneres Show returned in September, the comedian kicked off the season 17 premiere by talking to viewers about her scandal-plagued summer. Can Ellen's reputation as the queen, she was the queen of nice, can Ellen's reputation as the queen of mean be returned to the queen of nice? Can it be salvaged? What do you think? I mean, because she got canceled, right? That's basically canceled. Was she canceled in a way?
In a way. What she did when the show came back was very smart. The PR was on point. So she came on the first episode and said, "Hey, I know that you guys have been hearing all the stuff that's been going on. I've made all the changes that I needed to make, fired all the people that needed to be fired." I stand with what Ryan Phillippe did, because a lot of the celebrities were on Ellen's side and they were tweeting, "Ellen has been nothing but nice to me. Ellen has been the best person." But like, it pissed me off as a viewer and audience, because I know personal people that worked under Ellen, and it was more so like she had a bad attitude. She didn't really care about what her senior producer and executive
But you know what?
doing.
I could totally understand in a way, because she's being pulled in 100 different directions. Is it a point of...
You can understand what? Her being rude?
No, not being rude, but not knowing what the producers are doing. In other words, part of what it was that the producers were also being rude to the staff as well, and she was not managing them, and either, they said she turned a blind eye, or perhaps didn't know. But, she has a lot to do, and she, gives these, I'm just playing devil's advocate, and she gives a lot of reign to the producers to do what they need to do to get a show on, Because she's
when you turn a blind eye,
is she supposed to know everything that's going on? Is she supposed to? I don't know.
When you turn a blind eye, you're a part of the problem, period.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying, did she turn a blind eye?
Yeah.
Or is it too hard, or is it too hard to know everything that's going on?
No, because there were actual harassments that they went to the HR about. She has to know about those.
She knew about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she had
or had been familiar at least. Or had been familiar.
And she was rude. She was rude to them as well. I know people who actually worked under her. So I stand with Ryan Phillippe for doing that, because all the other celebrities were on her side. Just because, of course, she's going to be nice to the celebrities. All hosts are nice to their guests, but not to the people that actually work under them.
All right. So meanwhile, I read this in one of the tabloids. The airport employees in LAX, they rate the meanness or the niceness of celebrities that come by. Kendall Jenner, they rate all the Los Angeles airport employees are rating celebrities on how nice they are to them. On a scale of 1 to 10, Kendall Jenner, what do you think?
She's a big old B. She is a B.
What is a B?
Uh,
a B.
Yeah.
Yes.
A B.
She is
And not
rude
one that
as
buzzes
hell.
around.
She
The
is
one
rude
that the
as
one
hell.
the one that's
So
like the
she
female
definitely
horse,
did not
right?
get a high rating.
Kendall Jenner rated a 2.
2 out of 10.
2 out of 10.
And I'm surprised she even got the 2.
All right. Now, it's not just Los Angeles International employees. It was actually the employees rated them, and then Cindy, the TikTok star, known on the social media app as Sin Cindy, based the rankings on a scale of 1 to 10. So Sin Cindy took the ratings of the Los Angeles International Airport employees and actually gave a number to them.
She used to work there.
Right.
She used to work there.
Okay. So what do you think of Nicki Minaj?
I've heard that she's a horrible person to work with. All her hairstylists that I know have fallen out with her because she's just rude to them.
I can see that. She got a 2 out of 10 also.
There you go.
She was described in one instance in which the rapper wouldn't get off the aircraft until everybody else got off, which she claimed was a disruption to flight attendants. Avengers star Chris Evans. What do you think of that?
He seems nice.
Seems nice.
Yeah.
I would give him a good, like an 8. He's like genuine.
He got an 8 out of 10,
Yeah.
exactly. And Chris Hemsworth, his co-star on the Avengers.
Oh, he seems like a gentleman too.
He got a 10 out of 10.
Oh,
Always polite.
Yeah.
What about
Yeah.
Bad Bunny, the reggaeton star?
Oh,
I feel like he
phenomenal.
would get a 10 because he's like a huge advocate.
cool.
He seems like, I would
he's
give
cool.
him a good score.
Cool.
Huh?
Cool,
Yeah.
Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Got a 10 out of 10.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
Right.
He's super humble.
And
Oh,
Orlando Bloom, who is also Katy Perry's fiance, what did he get?
I would say he's like in the middle.
Probably like a 7.
No, he got a 10 out of 10 plus. He's really funny, apparently.
Oh.
Yes.
That's actually good to hear because, that's the thing with seasoned actors and actresses, like it's kind of hard. There are some people who are saying, well, maybe they had a bad day. Is it really cool to talk about how they interact with people? And I feel like, no, it is because you as a public figure, you're taking that on. Like, that you're always going to have to be on. Like when I used to hang out with Raven-Symoné, there'll be days where she just did not want to take pictures because she wasn't dressed or
Then
anything
don't
like
go
that. But
outside. Then don't go outside.
And she doesn't.
Then
and
don't go
like,
outside.
We went to the grocery store around her corner. The person was like, can I please, the person who worked as a cashier was like, can I please get a picture? She said, I will come back tomorrow. I'm just not dressed. I'm in a hurry, but I will come back. And she came back. And Raven's been working since she was 3. So there's no excuse for being rude to your fans.
There's
no, because they're the reason why you're making money.
That's right. And they're the reasons why you're famous.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I agree. Brad Bernstein, one time, walking down Rodeo Drive, I was very, very busy. Jill will confirm this story. I was walking down to a meeting. I was with Jill in LA on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. I was late. Somebody comes running up to me. Brad!
Wow.
Who's calling me? I watch you on Brad Show Live. Can I take your picture? Only one person ever in California ever did that to me. I was so thrilled that somebody recognized me. I stopped.
That's a beautiful.
I said, I'll be late for my meeting, of course.
I gotta
dope.
soak this moment in.
Yeah. What's the story with open marriages, by the way? Do you get that? Are you into it? Brad Pitt's younger girlfriend, Nicole Poturalski. You know who she is? She was dating this woman was dating Brad Pitt, but she's married to a German restaurateur by the name of Roland Mary.
Oh God.
So, but this dude, he's 68 years old. He's in an open marriage with Nicole and allowed Nicole to go out and date and publicly make out with Brad Pitt on the streets and hold his hand and everything. What's up with that?
At that point, the open marriage, I feel like, was already on the table because he's getting something from her, which is, having a fine-ass wife, and she's getting something from him, being able to do what she wants with another man and being financially stable. So
Do you think
we
that
see
they
this a
were?
lot.
Do you think they were in an open marriage? Or my hunch, when I think about this story, is I mean, look at the German restaurateur. I mean, not a bad-looking guy, but he ain't no Brad Pitt. So
He ain't no Brad
right,
Pitt.
he ain't no Brad
At
Pitt, right?
At all.
You know, come on. My friend went out the other day. He goes, "How do I look?" I said, "You look good. You're not yo-yo, but you look good." But so any event, true story. So any event, but look at the guy. So now all of a sudden, this woman, she's 27 years old. She's like saying to herself, you know what? Obviously she's not, married to this 68-year-old man because presumably they have a lot in common. There's a 40-year age difference. So,
Hey man, she might be an old soul. You
she
guys
could
can't
be.
say
I
that.
doubt it. I doubt it based on the way she's dressed at the moment in that picture. And then all of a sudden Brad Pitt comes along and she's like, man, Brad Pitt, how often do you get a chance to, go out with Brad Pitt? And cheats on her husband, becomes a scandal. It becomes a scandal, and then they say, oh, we're just in an open marriage. Or do you think that it was always an open marriage?
I feel like
this restaurant guy gets his cake too, so they're probably, even. He probably has a whole bunch of girlfriends. Why not?
I don't know.
So she said, I'm gonna take this too.
Well, I know Brad Pitt's got to have a lot of girlfriends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
After being with Angelina Jolie all that time.
I can't do that. I can't have multiple. I forget what I tell everybody. So
Time consuming.
It's very time consuming. I get all confused. What I say to you, what I say to you. I learned a long time ago. I got to focus on one person. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
One person. That's it. When I'm not focusing on you anymore, okay, could pivot to the next one.
Right.
But
Right.
I gotta.
One at a time.
I can't. One person at a time. I can't. I would be a nervous wreck if I was in an open marriage. I would be shaking and sweating.
Yeah.
What can I do? What can I do?
Exactly.
Well, when you're in an open marriage, you're still really focusing on that one person. You're just enjoying others. You're not really putting too much.
I would be if I was in an open marriage. I would be more focused on what are you doing? Who are you with today? More than as I sit back and drink my as I sit back and drink my tea.
Right. You need to enjoy your side.
What?
Of the open marriage. You need to enjoy your side of the open marriage.
Yeah, but you know what? That's
instead of worrying about her.
Well, you know what? Why be married if you're going to be in an open marriage? Just say, you know what? It's like you're married, but basically what you're saying is we're friends with benefits. Isn't that basically what an open marriage is? No. I have a marriage certificate, but in essence, we're just friends with benefits. You're my friend with benefits, but I can get benefits elsewhere.
But she's winning. She's winning because she got married into a fortune. So
I don't know. Well, Dion Reed says it's called an entanglement.
Right. Oh yeah, we know about the entanglement.
Yeah.
The Will Smith, Jada Pinkett, and August Alsina.
It's called an entanglement.
We know how that goes.
Although Jessica Levy says I am a one burner straight.
I feel you, sis.
It's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. And Jessica Levy says it's not cheating if the marriage is open. I personally,
it's not.
I know, but I think she cheated, and then they said the marriage was open. That's my.
Nah.
No.
I mean, I don't think the guy. No, I don't think the husband would be saying that. If he felt like she cheated on him, then he would just drop her.
Listen, there's some older men out here that they just get to a point in their life where they're like, you know what, dude? Like, I'm really just in a place where some good company, man. Do whatever you want, whatever. But every now and again, just some sweet company. That's it. Like, that's really a thing. Like, he's probably, who knows how many marriages that man's been in. He probably doesn't want to be married either. But,
Exactly.
Well, I'll tell you what's happened since. Poturalski and Mary. Mary's the German husband. Poturalski is the wife who's in the entanglement. They have a 7-year-old son together. And they were seen laughing and smoking with friends at Mary's restaurant. The two, apparently they're in an open marriage. And Mary is reportedly not interested in being jealous about her extramarital dalliances with the hunky actor Brad Pitt. Now, Poturalski, whose relationship with Brad Pitt was confirmed by page 6 of the New York Post in August. So if page 6 confirms it, you know it's true. Okay?
Right.
They met actually at the husband's restaurant in Germany.
I can't.
I can't either. The Polish-born
Wow.
model flew to Los Angeles a few weeks later, began hooking up with Brad Pitt at a Kanye West concert. And talking about Kanye
Whoa,
West,
dude, look at that.
talking about Kanye West, he's in a beef with Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, what?
Did you see Kanye West beef with Jennifer Aniston?
No.
What?
Oh, yes.
So because Jennifer Aniston said, don't vote for Kanye, it's not funny, don't waste your vote.
Exactly.
And Kanye responded, said, I just watch Friends, it ain't funny.
They killed that. Like, what?
He did the same thing with Issa Rae. Issa Rae was a host on SNL, and she was like, F Kanye. And Kanye tweeted, was like, everybody pray for Issa. Like, what?
Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.